What's up guys, welcome back to Finance to Fly. My name is Luke and I'm here to help you elevate your travel while minimizing your spending. Today we're going to be reviewing one last United card, the United Business Card, just a low-level business card. We're going to be showing what happened to it over the last couple months as it got revamped recently. So for the annual fee, it now is a $150 annual fee, and the debut offer that it had was 125,000 miles after $5,000 spent in the first 3 months. That offer is probably ended by now. Make sure to go check it out, and if you are going for this offer, I would look for the higher offer, like the 125,000 point offer that the debut offer had. So to break things down, it's pretty simple earnings rates. You're going to get 2 miles per dollar spent on all United purchases, dining, gas station, transit, and office supply stores, and then 1 mile per dollar spent everywhere else. The benefits of the card come with a lot of benefits similar to the Explorer and the Quest card. You'll get 2 United one-time club passes, 1 free checked bag for you and 1 companion, Continental Economy Plus seating after $25,000 spent, priority boarding, a 5,000 mile bonus after holding both a personal and a business card in 1 year, 25% back on in-flight purchases. You'll also get a bunch of annual credits. You'll get a $125 travel bank credit after making 5 United purchases worth $100 or more. You'll get $100 back after 2 prepaid hotel stays. Those will be $50 each. You get a $100 yearly rideshare credit that's broken down to $8 a month and then $12 in December. You'll get $25 back on each of your first 2 Avis or budget rental car purchases. You'll get a $10 a month Instacart credit, $100 a year JSX credit, and then $25 back for fare lock protections. You'll lastly get some travel protections, some purchase protections, and no foreign transaction fees. So what is this card worth? Well, let's put the $150 on the top of the screen. Now, first off, you're going to get those 2 United Club one-time passes. You can buy those for $59, so it's going to be worth $118. Then you're going to get the checked bags, like we mentioned in all the other videos. 1 round rate ticket is how we conservatively value that at, so it's $80 in value there. Then you're going to get a bunch of the annual credits. I'd say if you fly United enough to have a card, you should be able to make $500 or more purchases on United flights to be able to get that $125 travel bank credit. So we're going to assume you're able to get that. You'll get the $125 in travel bank crash. Then you do get the prepaid hotels credit. This is similar to the Explorer cards credit. I'd only assume you'd be able to get 1 out of the 2, so $50 in value here. That's just because it's $50 twice. I don't know how many times you really want to book a hotel only for $50 back instead of getting the loyalty, the points, the status, all that stuff by booking with the hotels directly. But if you do book through the airline portal twice, you'd be able to get 100. I'd only value it at 50 because I'd only assume you'd probably do it once a year or once every 2 years or whatnot. Then you get the rideshare credit. It's funny, it's $8, not $5 or $10. Still, if you hold the card, you're able to get this $8 back each month plus $12 in December. Since there's always a chance you do miss a month or 2, I'd value this at around $80, so pretty conservative value. Then you do get $25 back on each of your first 2 Avis or budget rental car purchases. I'd only say you'd probably be able to get 1 of them just because you might not want to go out of your way to use a different portal to book your rental car for just $25. It's just kind of a little bit more tedious. Who knows, you might like to maximize your credit card values. So not saying it's out of the ordinary, but I want to conservatively value it at $25. Next up, you have the Instacart credit, $10 a month. I've talked about this in the other couple of videos on United cards. You might use Instacart, you might not. If you don't use Instacart right now, you probably aren't going to use this credit a lot. If you do use Instacart right now, I just don't see people starting to use Instacart because of this credit, because you still have to pay delivery fees and tips, which is probably going to be more than $10 on your grocery bill. So that's why I'm going to value this at around $30. Just 25% of the time it's going to work for people. Then we have the JSX credit. The $100 JSX credit is the same thing as the one on the Explorer card. I'm going to value it at $10 just like I did there. It's really not enough to help break the margin down between a JSX flight and a United flight. Why would you not fly United if you have the United card? JSX only works when you have to fly a specific route at a specific time, or you just want to take a once in a while trip, or I guess even a once in a lifetime trip, just because JSX flies only out of pretty much the West Coast, so it might not make sense to save that $100 all the time, so I'm only going to give it a value of $10. Lastly, you do get that fare lock protection, and I think this is one of the most underrated perks on this card. I think for most of the time, people don't choose to use fare lock, they just book the flight and say it is what it is. I think being able to use Fairlock and not have to have any cost out of pocket. This can help people in situations where they need 14 days to figure their plans out. So I do think this is a full $25 in value. In total, you're going to be around $513 in value after opening this card and holding it year after year. That's pretty nice because it's the $150 annual fee, and you'll end up making out about $363. A solid return on your investment, and I think it's worth holding this card year after year. And to note, because this is the same annual fee as the Explorer card, I actually gave this a $164 in more value than the Explorer card, just due to the credits being a little bit better and you're able to get a little bit more out of your value of this card. Moving on to redemptions, we got some super long haul flights with United business class. This first one's going to be business class Cleveland to Dubai. And the reason why I booked Cleveland is because it's a secondary city. You aren't flying from a hub city, so you got to get to a hub no matter what. Might as well use my home airport because that's as simple as for me to put it. Also gives a little base, so maybe you don't live in Cleveland, maybe you live in Cincinnati, or maybe you live somewhere else. You need to fly to a hub anyways. Gives you a secondary city to a hub pricing. That's why I like to do that. But Cleveland to Dubai, booking that a one-way cash business class ticket, you're going to be over $4,700 cash. If you are able to stay an extra night in Germany, you are able to book another flight on Lufthansa, fly with Lufthansa, and book an 88,000 mile business class ticket. I think this is a solid way to save yourself from the 14-hour flight. Plus, you're getting booked business class. Everyone loves booking business class, so I think this is a solid redemption. Not to mention, when you get the cent per point value, you get a 5.33 cent per point value, and you get that by you take the cash cost, subtract the taxes and fees, and divide by the points amount, and that gets you a very good 5.33 cent per point value. It's a very, very, very good way to use your United miles. Next up, we're going to do another flight to the Middle East, specifically Malé in the Maldives. It's going to have you doing a different route on our award flight. It'll have you flying from Cleveland to Malé, but you're going to have to fly through Munich and then Istanbul to get there. Of course, it's a longer flight. Of course, you're flying about 5 hours more, spending more time in the airport than it is to fly directly to Dubai, Newark to Dubai to Malé, but saves you money specifically for this business class ticket, almost $6,300 for a one-way ticket. You book their Saver Award rate, it's going to be 88,000 miles. That's pretty good rate, plus it's only $37 taxes and fees. And when you get the cent per point value, that's 7.08 cents per point, which is an incredible value for United miles. Last but not least, we're going to fly to South America this time from Cleveland down to Santiago, Chile. When booking the cheapest business class flight for this, you would be flying through Newark and then Bogota with a 23-hour long flight, which is only $1,400 in business class for that one-way ticket. On the opposite side, you fly through IAD and Panama. It'll save you about 6 or 7 hours flight time and travel time for 88,000 miles and $7 in taxes and fees. This is one of those times where you don't get a good cent per point value, 1.59. Well, I shouldn't say it's not bad. It's really good for your value of points, but it's not the best what I just showed you. But this one saves you 7 hours of flight time, and you're flying business class, saves you cash. It's a great way to get down there, and honestly, I would recommend using points on this route just because you have 7 hours less flight time, and that's a great way to take advantage of using points instead of paying the cheaper cash rate. Last but not least, what are my thoughts on the card and who is this card for? Well, it's very interesting after reviewing all three of the personal cards where this one fits in. I'm not going to review the bigger, more expensive business card just because it's super similar to the club card from the personal side. This one though, kind of a couple changes that really make it stand out and kind of fits in right between the Explorer and the Quest card. It pulls credits from the Explorer card, from the Quest card, and it makes it into this one little niche little card that you can get a lot of value out of for a lower annual fee. Putting the earnings rates aside, the credits that this card comes with are very well, and you can get a lot of value out of them. One of my favorite ones about this is the Travel Bank credit. If you have a United card, you should be making 5 or more purchases on United for $100 or more. When you do that, you bring that annual fee down to $25 because you just got that $125 Travel Bank credit. Not to mention, this card may be having an increased offer of 125,000 miles. That is a huge amount of United miles that can get you pretty much a round-trip economy class ticket anywhere, especially if you have Premier status. Don't forget the check bags, the United Club passes, all that stuff all adds up to make this card a very nice card. And where I would say this is on the scale, I'd say United Explorer card, then you put this card, then you put the Quest card, then you put the Club Infinite card. I'm assuming the business card falls right in between the Club Infinite card and maybe either above or below it a little bit. But either way, if you are able to get this card and apply for a small business card, I think I would choose this card over the Explorer card just because you do get a little bit more value out of it than you do for the Explorer card, and you pay the same annual fee. That's kind of where I'm at with this. And who do I think this card is for? Anyone that has a small business, wants to fly United, wants to get those United miles. Obviously, it's better to get transferable points when I'm talking about good award redemptions, but United has decent award rate, 88,000 miles on their Saver award rate, and you can find a lot of availability through their partners on United's website with that for one person only. Still, it's a solid card for all the perks, not necessarily the earnings rates, but the perks that it comes with, the credits it comes with. So if you can get this card, I think I would get this over the Explorer. I don't know if I'd get this over the Quest though, because the Quest comes with a few other things that are a little bit more annual fee, but you get a little bit better perks, a little bit better credits, a little bit better earnings rates. So all in all, what do you think? This was the 4th United video in the last month or two on all their cards. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about this new card. Do you have this card? What do you think of it? Do you think they did a good job revamping all the cards? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you could hit that like and subscribe button, it would be greatly appreciated. Until next time, have a great day.